we are finding more and more is that, like a lot of diseases, like heart disease, etc., cancer also to some extent is a lifestyle disease. If you live in Delhi, you've had it.
Because now I realize that cancer screening ke baad bhi there are cases who can develop cancer. It's not a guaranteed thing because you are screening for, let's say, the most probable and the most easily detectable ones.
Yes.
So that we can prevent it before it happens, because those are the most ideal case scenarios. But if there is a very specific genetic mutation that you might have, which just triggers at some age, it can never be caught in any screening. Just a disclaimer for people.
That's a good explanation. It's not 100% true. कुछ लोगों में families में trend है depending on their genes.
Correct.
तो उनमें हम recommendations थोड़ी अलग देते हैं. But the general recommendation is after 40, all women should get cancer screened, जिसमें हम breast cancer, cervix cancer, oral cancer इन चीज़ों के लिए कर लेते हैं. Men में we are doing for lung cancer. Lung cancer का usually हम करते हैं in what we call high risk cases. Somebody who's been smoking a lot for a long time, उनकी एक X-ray तो कर लो. If we can pick it up early. So the attempt always is कि कैंसर को जितनी जल्दी पकड़ सके पकड़ लें.
मैं आपसे एक इंटरेस्टिंग सा क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहता हूँ. मेरे को पॉप हो रहा है ऐसा, मैंने देखा है लोगों को, स्पेशली पीपल विद बैड हैबिट्स, बैड लाइफस्टाइल हैबिट्स, बिकॉज आप उन्हीं की बात कर रहे हो यहाँ पे. तो जैसे कोई स्मोक करता है ना, या अल्कोहल अब्यूज करता है, या एनीथिंग, एनी काइंड ऑफ लेट्स से स्टिमुलेंट यूज, it has a very placebo effect. A lot of people with such bad habits have a placebo. कुछ नहीं होएगा मेरे को, मैं 90 साल तक भी स्मोक करता रहूंगा और कुछ नहीं होगा. मेरे ग्रैंडफादर भी थे 96 तक स्मोक कर रहे थे, हुक्का पी रहे थे, कुछ नहीं हुआ उनको. They have in this very installed placebo, generational placebo.
Right.
कि मेरे तो grandfather भी, they used to wake up with alcohol and sleep with alcohol.
Yeah.
So do you think having this placebo effect somewhere safeguards them? Because it's a very strong placebo I've seen in people.
देखो ऐसे है कि it's very difficult to, it's a very complicated area of medicine. But what we find is most of the time जब लोग ऐसे कहते हैं ना कि अरे मेरे grandfather को कुछ, Winston Churchill, prime example.
Okay.
वो भी, he lived his life. And he lived pretty late, and he smoked, and he had cigars, and he had everything. But this is what we call anecdotal. हाँ, एक बंदे की लक अच्छी थी. That's the only explanation I can give. He just happened to be a lucky individual. And when we talk of medicine and what we should do and the rules we make and the recommendations we give, it is for general public. 100 बंदा ऐसा है तो उसमें ये होगा. That's the way we do it.
So I can understand this. We are considering a case of a weakest person.
Yes. No, weak and strong. Average person.
Average person.
Average person.
Like the ideal person in the head is somebody who can get infected. Or, somebody who will be, not immune to such kind of mechanism where he can survive everything.
Absolutely.
Because we have to treat for that person. ना मतलब जो survive कर लेगा वो तो आएगा ही नहीं मेरे पास. अब जो नहीं करेगा उसके लिए तो treatment बनी है. And most of the people wouldn't be able to survive. The probability of everyone surviving is less. And most of them getting any kind of problem is higher.
Absolutely. Not only that, you see, एक ज़माने में, when I started, we used to be taught, इस कैंसर में ये important cause हो सकता है, इसमें ये हो सकता है. What we are finding more and more is that, like a lot of diseases, like heart disease, etc., cancer also to some extent is a lifestyle disease. How you live your life. So the reason I put that across is because if you treat it like a lifestyle disease, then you at least markedly reduce your chance of getting cancer. I'm not saying it'll go right away.
Yeah, there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee in medicine. That's for sure. But it will reduce your chances. So I like to think of cancer also as a lifestyle disease.
True.
ठीक है, 100 बंदों में से कुछ को तो बचा लिया ना हमने
हाँ
by changing their lifestyles.
हाँ, मतलब बड़ा सिंपल सा एग्जांपल है यार, मैं कि अगर मैं ये चीज जानता हूँ कि जो चीज मेरे कंट्रोल में है,
बिल्कुल,
दैट इज ओनली माई लाइफस्टाइल.
you're quite
आई
right.
डोंट नो कि मेरा म्यूटेशन क्या होगा, जीन क्या होगा, डीएनए क्या होगा, मेरे
Absolutely.
ग्रैंडफादर का क्या था, बट व्हाट आई हैव इन माय कंट्रोल इज द ओनली वन थिंग, इज माय डे टू डे हैबिट्स.
Not just your day-to-day habits. What is also important is the environment you're living in.
या
You see, I can remember a time when I was a student at Ames. हमें पढ़ाया जाता था हमारे यहाँ कैंसर कम होता है, वेस्ट में ज्यादा होता है.
अच्छा,
We used to be taught this.
ओके.
Now, what we are finding is that we are fast catching up. अभी भी, relatively speaking, compared to the West, हमारे में कम होता है.
अच्छा,
Little less.
लिटिल लेस.
But we're catching up. Not something that I like,
या
because it's not something I'd like to catch up with, frankly.
या
And this is where your environment comes in. Okay? So it's lifestyle, it's your environment. More and more of us are living in the cities, the pollution. You know, we all know these things that we're talking about. So this is where
इट्स अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग दैट यू बॉट अप राइट नाउ, इज बिकॉज हमें ऐसा लगता है कि यार हमने अपनी हैबिट्स ठीक कर ली, अपने जो भी थे हम नहीं कर रहे अल्कोहल अब्यूज, हम नहीं कर रहे स्मोक, हम लेट्स से हम मॉडरेशन में चीज़ों को कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, वी आर नॉट हैविंग टू मच ऑफ शुगर. द पॉइंट इज इफ यू आर लिविंग इन अ वेरी shitty environment where there is no quality of air, air can be a very big contributor to deteriorating your health. Right, it's a very neglected parameter sadly in India, but AQI is a very big contributor to silently killing you.
absolutely, it is a silent killer in this country.
Yeah.
The pollution that we've got in the air.
Yeah, and
Solid.
so it is right, it is, and it's such a big message to give away. Yeah. In fact, this is a very interesting thing I heard in the last podcast. I had it with a pulmonologist, and he told me pigeons are one of the most biggest contributor, notoriously, to contributing to a lot of TB and air infected diseases. आप जाते हो दाना डालते हो, कबूतर ये वो, and then these people are damaging you. It has a possibility that the person who is feeding them might not get infected, but पूरा मोहल्ला हो जाए उनसे.
Not only that, you see, there it's an infectious disease.
Yeah.
You know, there's a word for that. We know what the disease is too. It's just that not only we're harming and increasing the disease load in the country, with it, the pigeons take over, and the other birds like sparrows and parrot, वो मारे जाते हैं बेचारे बीच में. So this is, you know, it's again, you have to look at it from all points of view, I think.
Yes.
And like I can tell you, in my lifetime, I have a little garden in front of my house, and there are some trees there. And we used to have parrots and sparrows. Now we have more pigeons than anything else, and crows.
वो तो
So ये तो हर जगह होते हैं. So we have this little issue, you know. So and even today, if you're living in a village, your cancer risk is relatively low as compared to if you're living in the most polluted city of the country and the world, I believe, Delhi. If you live in Delhi, you've had it. It's bad.
Yeah,
so these are things, all this affects our milieu, and it somehow affects our cancer. So basically, if you look at it, people talk about genes. Yes, they are important. But I think lifestyle and the environment, etc., these are probably a bigger role to play in the development of cancer and all the things that it can do.
नहीं, कौवा सब कुछ सर्वाइव कर लेता है, मैंने नोटिस किया 30 साल की जर्नी में, हमेशा देखा है, वो हमेशा खिड़की पे आता है. थैंक यू सो मच इस क्लिप को एंड तक देखने के लिए. अगर आपको ऐसी ही इंटरेस्टिंग एंड वैल्यू एडिंग क्लिप्स देखनी है, देन ड्रीम विद नीरज क्लिप्स को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए. अंटिल देन, कीप ड्रीमिंग. आई विल सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट वन.